Hey folks, how we doing? It's your boy, DM Cerberus, aka Cerb, aka Kai. And we are back once again with a little bit of D&D. Now we do have our party ready to go, ready and raring. And there has been a slight change in our party. It is something that unfortunately one of our players did have to step away due to some real life stuff going on. But with that, we have had another person step up and join the party, get involved. I have also just noticed that something hasn't been updated. Give me 2 seconds to just update this here, folks. So all the players are level 3, and Inara, played by Cap, did have to step away. But now we do have Rain, played by our very own Maddie, Farthing Fox. It's wonderful actually having you be able to join a game. It's very rare that we actually have that happen. So I'm all for it, and I'm pretty happy and pretty excited for it as well. Anyway, let me just and we can select this. Change it to that. There we go. All of our players are level 3. Before we do get into the actual session and into the game itself, how's everyone doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Maddie, I appreciate you dropping in, coming to hang out in the chat as well. Like I just said, it's wonderful actually having you join some games. Everyone else who's out there hanging out and lurking there ready to catch some of the session, I appreciate you dropping in. I hope you have a wonderful time. As always, with our D&D sessions, I will be responding to chat less, because we'll be focusing on keeping immersion and trying to bring some top tier content for you all. Anyway, let's not procrastinate too much. Let's hop in, go say hello to the players, and get started with some downtime, I think. Buttons, hello.
So
Hey, there we go. Hey, folks. How's everybody doing?
Hello.
Hello.
I just had something weird come across my feed. Apparently, Aaron Carter died. Apparently, was a member of the Backstreet Boys.
Oh.
Oh no. Now Backstreet will never be back.
All right.
Backstreet's not back. Oh no.
Alright.
Anyways, how's everyone doing?
Very nice, very nice.
Good
I'm
to
scared.
hear. Lovely stuff. Of course, before we do get into the session proper, we do have some downtime things that we need to work on. Now, there's 4 of you. 2 of you already have a downtime ability that you're working on. Michael, our Celestial Warlock, you are
Hello.
working on enhancing your healing light ability.
Yes.
You still need 24 successes.
Yes, I am a long way off. I will get rolling.
A long way off. DC 16, you've got 7 downtime days. Nice and easy.
DC 16, isn't it?
Yes. So
I
second
think-
ability is all DC 16. Parok, our Goliath Battlemaster. You're currently working on the tough feat.
Yep.
We did have a discussion before stream, folks, and switched it from the slasher feat to tough, just because it makes much more sense for the actual character and the direction that the character is going to be going. So you have 13 out of 25 successes. DC 16, you're more than welcome to make your rolls and see how you do there.
Were we gonna roll strength on that?
So we're tough. Let me have a quick look. What it will make sense to actually use for you? Parok, let's have a quick look here. Your character sheet's not loading for me. That's incredible. We love it. Let me just quickly refresh Roll20.
Is crits count as double, if I remember?
Crits count as 2 successes, yeah.
Whoop, whoop.
So at least you got 2.
I got 4.
4?
You have bonuses to add to those dice, don't you?
Yeah. I
Nice.
minused it off from 16, so it's 11 because it's a saving throw.
It's true, yeah.
So 11 and above. So there's a 45% chance I'll get one.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, Hound, that it's gonna be Constitution saving throws that you're gonna need to make for that one, rather than Strength. Strength was because it was slasher, so it's related to your weapon.
Dang.
God. That was a waste. Maybe
Oh,
next week.
damn! Yeah, no, that's.
That was me last week, honestly.
Hang on. You weren't rolling saving throws there. You were rolling just normal.
Oh, yeah.
Constitution.
was
So
saving
each of
throws.
those saving throw is con, so he gets +2 to these. So 1, 2,
That's
3.
1, 2, 3.
So the
4, 5.
14s and the 15s succeed. Because
So,
you should
okay,
have
so
+2
that's
to
1,
those.
2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay, 5. Okay. We'll take it.
Yeah, you're doing well there. Cannot complain at all, buddy.
So then that puts me at 18 successes.
18 out of 25. If you have a really good week next week, you never know. Or next session. It won't be next week, it'll be the week after. Wonderful. So whilst you're doing that and Michael, you're doing that, let's have a little chat with Letty. So Letty, we had a little chat before stream. Of course you're aware. You have 6 days instead of 7 days of downtime, but you have completed
Yep.
your healer feat now.
Yep.
So make sure to add
Healer
that onto
feet,
your
baby.
hells yeah. Make sure to add that onto your character sheet, so that you have have all the stats and everything for that as you need it.
Will do. Yeah.
And what are you going to be looking at doing next?
Well, seeing as Ranger uses wisdom for spells and stuff, I would like to start bumping that up if I could. So,
Okay, let's have a look.
I couldn't find like a straight up feat, but I suppose like if I'm just like, you know, adding a +1 to wisdom,
Yeah, so
that's not necessarily even needed. So
yeah, off the top of my head, I can't think of any feats that will give pluses to wisdom, but you can definitely do
Alert.
Oh,
I
is
think.
alert to wisdom?
That's
Uh,
think.
obs-
No,
uh,
initiative.
observant.
it's initiative,
Observant,
yeah.
that was it.
Observant is one that gives a plus to wisdom.
Or you could take the time to
That's intelligence.
No, it can be
intelligence or wisdom,
either.
Oh,
Be
sorry,
either wisdom or intelligence.
Yes. Didn't read that
but
properly.
it's +1.
you can absolutely do a +1 to your wisdom there. So again, that is
So,
going to be DC 16.
16. Okay.
Because your total score is under 16, I'm actually going to say it's 20 successes instead of 25 needed for this. So if you're trying to raise a skill or a score that is below 16,
Can I suggest an alternative, perhaps?
Mm,
Alternative feat? Letty, you are an elf, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Look at elven accuracy. Very useful one.
See, that's what I was thinking about, but
Whenever you have advantage on an attack roll using intelligence, dexterity, wisdom, or charisma, you can re-roll one of the dice once if you manage to hit it. It can only be taken by
basically,
elves.
yeah.
It is from Xanathar's Guide to Everything.
it is a
Very
very
useful
nice feat.
Very useful for a ranger, someone who uses normally dexterity.
It is.
This is
True. Yeah.
that is my alternative option.
Yeah, so Elven Accuracy is a very good shout. Thank you for that, Raz. You could
And it
do
also
that.
It
increases,
actually-
also can
yeah.
increase your wisdom as well by 1.
Yeah.
You
I
could
had
do that,
actually looked
and
at
then, sorry,
that.
carry on.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my question then. Because I've taken a feat already, you're saying that the DC or the wisdom upgrade would need 20 successes. How many successes would I need for an additional feat?
For the feat, it'd be 25. But I'd actually potentially suggest doing the feat, because that will give you a +1 to your wisdom, and then when you level up to level 4, you would actually be able to add +1 to your wisdom again to make it from the 15 into a 16, and a +1 to your constitution to take that up by 1.
And then constitution would be +4 then.
Yeah.
That would be pretty sweet. Yeah, okay, I will do that.
Just that'd be kind of the best way to balance it, I think, because you'd then be able to kind of even out 2 scores, as it were, when you hit level 4.
Okay, so Elven Accuracy,
Wonderful.
second
So
feat.
yeah, that'll be out of 25, as it's a feat. DC 16 as it's the second downtime ability.
And what am I using for this?
So for that one, it would be I'm gonna say it's gonna be an attack roll with your longbow.
So, Dex.
Yeah. So you know what, I'm gonna say instead of that, because obviously you get the bonuses to attacks with longbow. Do it as Dex saving throws. So +6 to it.
Okie doke. Awesome.
Just so it's using your core ability rather than getting the +2 to your bows as well. And then, finally, but by no means least, Rain, our new Battlesmith
we can-
Artificer.
I think we can comfortably say least.
I don't know. You've yet to show up and wow both the audience and the party. So we'll see what happens there. But yes, obviously we discussed giving you one so that you had your first level ability same as the party already. You've got that done. And what was it you were thinking about for your second one?
So initially I was thinking about mounted combatant. However, I went back and I realized that I only need a +1 to get my intelligence up to +4. So what I'm considering right now is the skill expert feat. It lets you add +1 to any of your ability scores, gives you proficiency in one skill, and gives you expertise in one skill.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's very fancy. I mean, again, with it
and
being a feat,
every-
it'd be 25.
Yes. Everything that I will be getting from this feat will be intelligence based.
Nice.
So I'll be going for a +1 to my intelligence. I'll be going for proficiency in the nature skill, and then I will probably be putting my expertise in either Arcana or Investigation.
Nice. I like it. I like it. Wonderful. Well, you have 7 days to spend there. DC 16, intelligence saving throws.
Intelligence saving throws.
Just because then
I
it's
wish
using your
could.
intelligence, and I'm guessing proficiency as Artificer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I just wish I could auto roll multiple.
Yeah, unfortunately not if you're making the
multiple
actual
saving
rolls from
throws.
the sheet, yeah. Okay, well, whilst I leave you to do your rolls and Painter to do your rolls, we're going to hop back over and go say hello to Michael. Michael,
Michael is
how's it going,
gone.
buddy?
He poofed.
Sorry.
You are all good. How's it going? How did your rolls go?
I had 4 out of 4 successes, so I'm up to
4
5 now.
successes. Nice. Well, it just brings it one step closer.
4 steps closer.
I mean, yeah. 4 steps out of a total of 25 steps. So you are now at 5 steps into it. Wonderful. Yeah, that was everything for you there. Letty, do you have your successes there as well?
Yeah, I got 3 successes, so 22 to
3
go.
there. Wonderful. Okay, and finally, Rain, have you made your rolls there?
Yes, I got 5. I don't know if you can see in roll 20, but I rolled a 5 and a 4, and then a 17, 16, 18, 16, and 16. So
No, for some reason the rolls didn't show up for me, but that's okay. So
for God's sake,
it could just be roll 20, but being roll 20. So how many was that again? Sorry.
It was a total of 5 successes.
Hey, very nice. So everyone has put a little bit of work into their next downtime there. We love to see it. So just to confirm, everyone has their first level ability or their first downtime ability. So Michael, you have your Invocation of Rituals, your Book of Ancient Secrets.
Yes, I do.
Wonderful. Letty, you have the Healer feat for helping your allies when they fall.
Yee.
Wonderful. Parok, you have been training and you have a couple of chord shots, a few extra maneuvers that you can pull off with your battle prowess.
Yep.
And finally, Rain, you have a downtime ability too. But we're not going to say anything about that one until the party get to see you. Wonderful. So, with that, I believe that we can hop straight into that. No, well, back into the session there. So, I do have the recap ready, unless anyone else wants to do a quick recap at all.
Battle happened.
Battle happens. Good enough for me. So,
We did a thing. We did another thing.
Yeah,
we clashed some swords.
yeah, did a couple of things, stuff happened. But in a reality separated from our own, in a world filled with magic, mysticism, and power, our adventurers and heroes find themselves. The Glimmering Sword's coast stretches out farther than the eye can see, trade ships and fishing vessels flitting from one place to the next. The land, untamed, wild fields and forests, filled with all manners of wonderful magical creatures. The cities, diverse, bustling with life and filled with every race imaginable. This is a living, breathing world, a story growing continuously. And we have the humble pleasure of sharing it with you all. So, returning back into the fast-paced combat that the party found themselves in, they follow Zardud and Parok through the rest of the rundown tavern, coming across turncoats throughout. As they fought through, finding stairs leading up to the first floor, Zardud caught shouts from a figure upstairs, laughing and calling him out. This figure, introduced as Roger, baited Zardud into a confrontation. Not allowing him to go it alone, the party marched up the stairs and burst into the room, and the battle was on. This is the most difficult combat most of them had seen in their lives up until this point, with the threat of death serious. But the party rose to the occasion. Zardud and Roger were isolated from the rest of the fight, dueling and fighting with fury. With assistance from Parok, Zardud managed to land the killing blow on Roger, stabbing deep into his gut. As he fell, he continued to laugh, his dying words hanging in the air. Raph will get me back. I'll see you, Zardude. And that is the moment that we come back to. So all of you, breathing heavy, battlers almost immediately just finished. How's everyone doing? What is everyone doing?
After keeping those two by the roulette table to stay still, I went to go and investigate the table up to the north of the map there, and allow the two that are most familiar with these traitors to deal with them.
Yes, so the two down there kind of stood at the table. Inara is currently kind of stood between them and the door, kind of just growling and watching them, keeping them set. And what is it you were doing? You were leaving them to Parok and Zardude, and you, I believe, were looting, weren't you?
Indeed.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, the loot on the tables that you find. Let me quickly pull that up there. So, you find 44 copper, 10 silver, and 9 gold.
Fantastic. I'll
Um,
put that into my pouch for now.
You also notice, just as you're kind of taking in the scene that lays before you, that a lot of the fighters, the enemies that you came across in this room, the turncoats, actually were carrying fairly decent equipment. Nothing crazy. I mean, the axes that Roger dropped seem quite shiny and actually look a little bit special, but otherwise they're just well kept, kind of well conditioned weapons that you can see, or not just weapons but equipment, armor and such, that each of these are wearing.
Noticing the quality of the gear, Michael would point that out to the others. If you keep an eye on them, on the ones that have fallen especially, that one, looks like their gear is well maintained.
Letty looks down at the axes and hearing what Michael has said, and looks away from them as if she doesn't really care, turning her attention to Zardude. Do you know this man?
He is currently staring down at Roger with naked fury and betrayal splattered across his face and in his eyes. It's one of the ones I trained. He never got far, always looking to progress himself, take power, be promoted further than he should have been. And you can see that he's almost just seething with rage right now. He's not showing it in his emotions, he's keeping it well contained, but he's definitely kind of filled with fury and rage.
Rock had come down. He initially noticed the door, but realized that the sound of the room kind of died down. Like, it didn't sound like there was anybody else kind of hiding or anything. So he came back down to look at the body, and looking at those axes, he kind of realizes that, you know, they look like they're maybe better quality than what he currently has. And looking to Zardude, he speaks up and says, "You have any reason why I shouldn't take these? I mean, it's kind of like the spoils of war, right?"
He turns and kind of eyes you up and down, thinks for a moment. "No, I suppose if you're wanting them, you're more than welcome to. I know that you tend to fight with a shield, though."
Yep.
I believe axes are also good throwing weapons now.
And so, yeah, with that, Barack, he's immediately going to go and try to pick up the axes. But while he's kind of like picking them up, he's also going to try to search the body, see if he can't find anything, maybe notes, spare cash, something like that. I mean, at this point, it's spoils of war.
I mean, yeah, no, 100%. So you go ahead and start looting the body there. So you're doing that. Michael, you're doing that. Letty, you're stood watching. Okay. So on Roger's body, you don't really find much else. Make a investigation check for me.
Everyone?
Just Parok there, who's searching the body, just to see what you do find.
Oh, please let it be high. Yes.
Ah!
That's a nat 20. Okay, so as you're searching this body, you notice a couple of times, kind of as you're patting him down, you hear the crinkling of paper. And as you look, tucked up under his sleeve, so actually hidden away, not in a pocket or anything, you do find a crumpled note. It seems that when he realised that people were running up the stairs, he should probably conceal this. And as you take it out, you see that it's a letter from, seemingly, Roger's boss, identifying themselves with the letter R.
Dang.
And it speaks along the lines of, Roger, take your men and deal with these so-called elites. They have been a thorn in my side for far too long. Ensure their leader, Zardud, is killed, and bring his head to me, and I will give you power beyond your imagining. And then just a letter R at the end.
Rock reads the letter and he's kind of starting to understand that this is we're starting to find himself in this this mix that the Raphael, the Raph, the letter, it's all starting to make sense and it's all starting to kind of come back. Occasionally kind of remembering the letter R, the events that transpired in his past.
Yep.
And he's starting to realize is that the connection's there. Whoever this R is probably the same person who led the attack on his people. And trying to contain himself, he can kind of feel himself starting to get emotional. And so he just kind of passes the letter over to Zardud before and taking what valuables he can from the body before he gets too caught up in his own thoughts.
Yeah. I will say that you find a handful of coins on him as well. I don't know, let's go with that. So he has 5 gold pieces on him as well.
All right. And then what would you call those axes? Like
so they are, what is going to be the best equivalent in 5e?
I'm imagining either hand axe or battle axe.
Yeah, it's not a battle axe because that's two-handed, isn't it?
No, battle axes they can be one-handed or two-handed. They're the D8 versatile, whereas hand axes are simple weapons, and they're light, so you can dual wield them.
You also
So
got grey
yeah,
axes, which are two-handed.
No, they would have been hand axes because he was dual wielding.
Yep.
So they are very fancy hand axes. As you pick them up and go to stow them, you can feel them, and you can feel almost this slight magnetism between the two of them. As you hold one in one hand, you can feel the other one almost vibrate on your hip or wherever you holster it. It's hard to get the intent behind what the item's trying to tell you. It certainly seems that it has some kind of magic, but right now you're not sure. It'll take a little bit of time to study and have a look at them.
all right.
And as you're doing so, Zardud will read the letter and then pass it on to whoever then reaches for it. And he's kind of just staring down at the body. And once you're done and you take a step back, he just utters the word traitor and spits down on Roger's body. He then turns his attention to the ones that are still living.
Could I grab the letter and, like, after quickly scanning it, is there anything else on there? Like, an address or, like, where it was sent from or any indication where he might be?
You do not see anything like that. From what you can tell, this is a letter that was perhaps smuggled or something as such, where it would have been in a very plain envelope, folded up many times, tucked in the tiniest of pockets that couldn't be searched. So it was probably sent by some kind of messenger that carried it from one place to another.
Cool.
Just from your experience, they tend not to have an address on them because, again, that can be something that can be used to track back to a location.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, there isn't anything that you can see on the letter, but of course you do read the content along the lines of go deal with the elite soldiers. I'll give you power beyond your wildest dreams, and the letter R.
If I'm okay to concentrate my kind of like seeing all of this and like again the R and like obviously Letty's putting 2 and 2 together, and she's quite insistently now looking at Zardud. Do you know who Ralph is? Have you come across this name before?
Raph? Aye. We'll discuss that after we deal with these two. And he gestures to the two that are there. He kind of looks over to you, Parok, to you, Letty, and Michael, to see if anyone is kind of stepping forward to say anything to any of them.
Michael's at the top by that door. I'm not sure if it's closed or open.
So the door itself is open. That's actually where Roger came out of.
Out of character, were these the characters that we bound with the belts? Or was it this, or did they just like surrender?
Yeah, that was down below you bound someone with belts, wasn't it? These guys, they are free. They have no weapons in their hands. They've dropped their weapons. Michael frightens them and threatens them to stay at the table, and then Inara has kind of placed herself blocking the exit so that they can't run past her. So they kind of stood there, petrified, with this wolf kind of snarling at them, hands up in the air, open, no weapons on them, kind of completely defenseless, as it were.
Okay. So Parok, seeing Zardud kind of give a nod. He kind of gets the feeling that if Zardud were to try to interrogate these guys, they're probably going to die. And so...
Make an insight check for me, real quick.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, you can't tell for certain, but yeah, like, Zardud's... You've never seen him lose his temper, so you can't imagine what would happen if he did. You don't want that to happen, so yeah, it's probably best that someone else does take over the interrogation / questioning / hopefully not torture.
So,
but you're a new party, so who knows?
So Parok rolls up to him, and he kind of gets this kind of almost like bravado in a type of way. He's trying to like act tough, even though this is his first time really doing this himself as well. And he looks at him and says, I want you to, if there's anything on your person of value, you need to turn around and place it on the table. Any sudden movements, and you're going to look like the guy who's laying at your feet.
With that, they both slowly look down. If I remember correctly, that guy was torn apart by Inara, rather viciously and ferally. And they will slowly turn and start placing a few bits and pieces. One of them has a dagger that they place on the table. There's, a sprinkling of coin between the two of them. But doesn't seem to be anything of importance.
All right. Then Parak follows up and says, because I need to know what your names were, what your ranks were, and what was this man here, this Roger, was this your sort of commanding officer?
And they kind of look to each other. One of them starts to speak up. They give you each their kind of detachment number and their rank and stuff like that. One of them is Henry, and the other is James. Name's just coming out of my head here. Henry is the one to speak up. Yeah, sir. Roger was he was our commander. He'd recently kind of been promoted, and then he took us out on a training exercise and explained what was happening and told us that we'd make it rich and we'd get away with everything.
So, how long ago was this training exercise?
A few hours, maybe.
Are you
A
stupid?
few hours ago.
I'm saying, when did this occur? Not how long the exercise was. Think, Henry.
And you can see he's really kind of like panicking almost now. I don't know. We started the exercises about 3 hours ago, and then maybe an hour into it, they took us aside and brought a few of us along.
So you're telling me 3 hours ago, you guys decided to turn coat and try to kill your fellow comrades?
I mean, that's the first that either of us have heard of it. There was quite a few of them that were moving ahead to do this. Like, listen, like it felt like we were gonna get jumped if we didn't go along with it. Like, there were so many of them.
Okay, so you say there's a lot of them. How many more people are we talking here? Are we talking like was the entire company in on this, or was it just the leadership?
Not the entire company, but you're talking about Raftsmen, right?
Yeah, we're talking about Raftsmen. Whoever set this up.
He's got a lot more than just guys in the detachment.
Names.
Listen, lady, this is bigger than either one of us. We
I
don't have
take out
names of
my
everyone.
bow and shoot an arrow between them. Names.
Listen, Roger was our boss. We just know that Raph has like almost an empire. Like, he's got people working for people working for people.
Parak, he's kind of just listening and taking everything in, and he says, this man behind me, the one that you guys tried to kill, he has every right to take your lives. You have every right to forfeit your lives to him. You failed. I'm here to try to save you and try to give you an opportunity to at least atone for your sins that you've committed. So you're telling me that there's so many people, like this Raphael, he's got so many people on his payroll that you don't know who's next in line? Who's above Roger?
I mean, we don't know who Roger took orders from. There was someone else. I don't know.
Oh, Parak just kind of looks at him and says, so let me ask you this. What do you think I should do to you? And
I mean, let us go?
Parak just kind of looks at him and goes, he just kind of starts laughing and goes, Henry, I like you. You're a funny man. But we both know that that's not going to work. Because we both know if we let you live, Raphael's probably going to kill you and send somebody to take your lives. And if I let Zardude here come at you, he's definitely going to kill you. So you're in a really tough spot.
If you let us go, we will disappear. We'll be gone.
Parak, Harak, he's kind of just sitting there in this kind of moral dilemma. He's like, do we let
Michael
him-
will poke around the corner and be like, Inara, take their scent.
And with that, Inara kind of marches up and sniffs each of them, kind of almost headbutting each of them as she does so, quite viciously. Both of which are thoroughly terrified from having their scent taken.
If you choose to let them go, and they're still in the city by the end of the day, Inara will come and take them out. That's if, of course, you let them go. No, he pops his head back around the corner again.
Nice.
Harak kind of just listens and watches the exchange, and just kind of looks at him and says, "You know what? That's a good idea. So I guess you have until sundown to leave. Now I'm going to give you an opportunity to be able to leave, and your lives are on your own. If you ever step foot in this city again, and I find you, you're going to look a lot worse than that corpse on the ground." And he looks at Zardude and just kind of waits to kind of see what type of reaction he might have.
Zardude is kind of just watching with gritted teeth. The rage is evident on his face, but kind of as you give them this decision that you've made, he kind of just gives you a nod and then turns and walks kind of further back up into the room, kind of stepping on and over Roger's body. You gave them mercy, he'll respect that.
So Harak kind of looks at him one more time and says, "Now, I'm going to count to 5. You guys are going to run. And keep in mind, I know what's on the bottom floor. You will not make any pit stops. You will not stop anywhere that you are not designated to go. You will leave this building as quickly as you came. And if by the time I make it to the bottom, if you are here or if I find anything out of place, I'm gonna send her after you." Kind of just kind of like pointing at Inara with his thumb, kind of like this, kind of wave it away.
And the two of them are like terrified and like slowly inch away from you, kind of almost waiting for you to say the word.
And go.
And they're gone. They get to the top of the stairs, they run down the stairs, they disappear further into the building at the bottom.
Alright, and with that, Parak comes over and starts collecting the goodies that were left on the table, plus whatever might still be there.
Wonderful. Well, there is a well looked after knife. Nothing special, but well looked after. And let's say they had 3 silver and 9 copper between them.
3 silver and then 9 copper.
Yep.
You bust out the handy calculator because I can't do simple math. I'm gonna throw these into the bag of holding.
Yep. Completely
And
fair.
was there any other like coins or anything left on the table before the exchange?
On that table, no. I kind of did the loot that was on the tables as one.
Okay.
The people that were looting would have gathered everything into one spot to be able to move it then. So the coins that I said were found just before are kind of the result of both of the tables there.
Okay.
So, as all of this has been happening, Michael,
Yes.
what you looking at up there? What you up
I'm
to?
looking for things, looking around, scuffling, hearing things about slaughtering people and telling them advice, and then checking chests and things, seeing if there's anything of use, really.
Cool. Make an investigation check. There might be a spattering of coins that weren't grabbed from within here. The safe that you see is locked.
It's 14. Oh, it's locked, is it?
Yes. So yeah, you will have found. Let's go with one of them.
Remember, someone can lockpick. Someone's got lockpicking tools. I think it's Letty.
Don't.
Oh.
And
But I
You
could try
find
because I
9 copper that hadn't been grabbed previously.
I'll put my head around the corner, like, can anyone undo a lock?
Rock kind
I
of
can
speaks up.
try.
Says, "I'm not good with lockpicks and stuff, but I can kick it if you want."
Let's try the non-brute approach first. You could damage what's inside.
You can try.
It's true. It's true.
Okay. So I will go and have a look at the safe. I don't know if I
Okay.
will be able to do anything, but
So it isn't a safe that can be picked with a lock pick, as it were. It is a combination safe. So short of knowing how to open it, knowing the code, or rolling incredibly high on 3 successive perception checks, would you be able to open it? You can attempt it, but you would need to
If I
roll
fail-
excessively high on a perception check 3 times in a row to succeed.
Rock,
Listening for the click.
Rock kind of speaks up and, is there anything that might give us a clue in the room?
You can, I mean, Michael's investigation would cover that. There doesn't seem to be anything that does indicate any codes, date, number, anything like that. From what you can see, Michael, there's actually no books there. The ones that are on the map are purely for decoration. There was a smattering of coin on that table, little else, and then a locked safe.
Without the code, this is going to be a little bit difficult. Let's have a look
Yeah.
around the building.
And while they're doing
unless-
that, Rock would like to loot the remaining 3 bodies, or what's left of them.
Let's go with so 4 copper and 3 silver across the rest of the bodies in the room, and again, standard equipment. Let me know if you're taking any of it.
I was gonna take it and just toss it in the bag of holding.
That's fair. 2 of them had a rapier and a short sword each, so 2 rapiers, 2 short swords, and one of them had a crossbow and a short sword.
Hound's loot goblin ways are coming out.
So we have 2 rapiers, 3 short swords, and 1 crossbow.
Yes.
All right. And we're only going loot goblin because it's spoils of war.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, okay. That's Parak. That's what we're gonna do right now.
I mean, I wasn't judging. That's exactly what I do in every single game. It's like all the loot. So
All right. So I guess with that. So did you two, Michael and Letty, both go downstairs, or going downstairs?
I was heading downstairs.
Wonderful Zardude will follow. As you get downstairs, let me move. So we need. I'm just going to group all the tokens up together.
Mhm.
So I can copy all of them. Okay. So, back to downstairs. Let me get rid of those tokens. Oh, actually, everyone is already there. I'm going to remove Inara because she's in wolf form. And the rest of these dead bodies I'll just remove from the map for the sake of it.
So just out of curiosity, would the rough Molotov cocktail that we used, would that still been burning this entire time?
Not this entire time, no. That would have burned furiously and very, very quickly. So it would have burnt off
Okay.
a lot of the actual fuel. I just need to take it off of the...
Okay, I was just wanting to sure and be like, hey, we got like 3 weeks of burning here.
Yeah, I just can't
The
seem
wall
to
just
actually-
moved!
I can't actually seem to select it for some reason, which is rather annoying. Or is that now on a GN layer?
So we
No.
we just know that it's no longer burning. It's just
Yeah, it's fine.
maybe there's just a char mark on the ground.
Yeah. So moving through the rest of the building, Zardu does make his way into kind of the front room again. If you guys are following, you're following. But he is just taking a seat back where you actually first found him. He just, after all of that combat, he is taking a rest.
Is the guy that we knocked unconscious still down here? Or have they managed to wake up and flee with their trousers around their legs?
They are gone as you walk through. So they must have woken up and disappeared. Perhaps the two that came down the stairs picked them up and carried them out as they went.
Hopefully. Although they're going to have a hard time getting out the city without no trousers. That's a sacrifice they'll have to make. I am saying this out loud.
Anara gives off what would be considered a chuckle, but in wolf form. But as she's doing so, her head cocks to one side as she sniffs the air. And without so much as an explanation, she runs straight out the door. If anyone does follow, as you get onto the street, you will see that she is already halfway down it, running further and further, disappearing out of view. You can try and give chase if you wish, but Inara in her current form is faster than any of the players.
Letty would have seen this and just cocked an eyebrow, but then just shrugged it off.
I walked
Rock
into that
would've-
room and ran back because I was like, oh, drinks.
Yes! So the crates in front of you, there are a few wine bottles that are still filled.
I'm taking them both.
Wonderful.
So Parak kind of comes back to this little corner desk here, and he's heard about the combination, so he's still kind of just wondering if maybe there's any type of evidence that would support there maybe being a combination written down or anything like that.
Yeah. You know what? Make an investigation check for me, and we'll see how high you roll on that one.
Oh, please. Oh, okay.
15's pretty good. Was anyone else looking to look around further whilst they were downstairs?
Michael couldn't open it. He got very disinterested very quickly.
That's fair. Letty, were you looking for it or interested in it in any way at all?
Not particular. Letty's too preoccupied at the moment with the mention of Raph and wanting to get more information. She doesn't really care about loot right now.
Yeah, that's fair. So unfortunately you don't have advantage on the roll. Looking around, you do find various different numbers that could correlate to a lot of different things from within the tavern's time. Unfortunately, as you kind of nip back upstairs and go back and forth testing each of these combinations and sets of numbers, nothing does seem to work.
Parak just kind of saddened by his wasted effort, but he's like, you know what? I could use a drink as well.
And as you come through that door, you see Michael already holding one up for you in a glass that's probably behind this bar somewhere.
Yep. Seeing you at the bar, Zardud is actually going to make his way over and take one of the seats there.
I pour drinks for them. Slowly, but with a little bit more fine finesse than what Michael is currently used to. And then sort of have a smile as he passes one over to Zaldud. He'll be like, to your health! Literally. And just take the drink.
Thank you. And he takes this big sigh and kind of releases a lot of the tension. Parok, you recognise this. This is a technique that he's actually taught you that stands alongside some of your fighter training. What he is doing right now is using Second Wind. So he did... I didn't think about it during the fight, but he did have Second Wind. He just attacked with his offhand every bonus action. But yes, he does regain some hit points, which will kind of as he breathes out and releases a lot of that tension, you can see he kind of holds himself up a little perkier, a little stronger, a little more kind of set in himself rather than a little dazed and confused and out of it, as he has been a little bit.
Yep. Brock just kind of noticed it and just kind of realized, like, yeah, it's kind of something that we used to do back in the training fields when after a long day.
Yeah,
And he just says this kind of
exactly.
mentally, this kind of like in his own thoughts, and just like he just kind of doesn't really know what to say, so he just kind of takes the glass that Michael was kind of holding out, and he just noticed it's some type of liquid. Takes it back and realizes it's got that bitterness of alcohol.
Yep.
I will then also look at Letty holding a bottle. I'll be like, would you like a drink, my dear? No Fey shenanigans, of course.
She takes it and gulps it down. The whole thing, and doesn't even bat an eyelid.
I think we only had two, that's it. We're out. So Michael's face just goes a little bit down as he's only got like half a thimble glass ready for himself. That was like, oh.
There were more than just 2 bottles back there. You would be able to go and grab.
I thought there's only 2 filled, so I was like, oh.
No, there was 2 crates of them. Some of them filled, some of them empty.
Go runs back for it.
One.
Sata runs.
So yeah, you there's definitely enough wine for each of you to be able to have a good drink and kind of take a moment to rest. I will consider this a short rest, so this is the point where everyone's level up kicks in. So you have your max hit points, you've got your new abilities, you got this, you got that. Everyone knows what they've got there.
It's essentially like a long rest.
Kind of, yeah. So even though it's going to only take the time of a short rest, it's effectively a long rest because you guys have leveled up and you get everything back from leveling up there.
During this rest, Michael, whilst he's drinking, gets some rosy cheeks to him, and then, in a quick burst of energy, begins to look at his book, as it seems to have wiped a bit off, clean of the grime and slime and things, and thanks to Mikhail's sort of things, he seems to be getting happy. He's like, oh, this is good. This is fantastic. Wait a minute.
Harak just kind of looks at him and goes, what's fantastic?
Oh, so just you see like the book has really strange writing in it, like lots of symbols, things. If you've seen this book before, you wouldn't be able to write in it, but now clearly it's very usable. And he's just like, "This is great. We can use this. Oh, what a blessing from my lord!" And then looks to Harak and goes, "Wait a moment." And then I'm going to use Detect Magic.
Okay, you cast Detect Magic. What is it that you're focusing on?
I saw those axes earlier.
Yes, these are most definitely magical axes. They are hand axes. You can tell that they are simply imbued with magic, which typically means they're some form of clean enchantment. So +1 or something along those lines. They're not any specific effect.
Harak,
Yeah?
do you mind if I have a quick look at those axes for you? I think something's hidden behind those sheens and the leather bounds.
Yeah, okay. He kind of reaches, takes the hand axes off his back, which were kind of like unlocked, kind of behind the shield that he's put there, and lays them down on the table with a little thunk.
I go have to remember how to do this. As Michael begins to do a ritual of identify.
Fantastic. Well, that will take a little bit of time for you to actually do there.
Indeed.
As this is happening, Letty, you feel a connection to the planes that you haven't in a very, very long time. Your memories still don't
Good.
serve you well of time before what you do remember, but you
Hmm.
remember and always felt this faint connection to the planes and to the other world, as it were, or the other worlds. And you feel just a slight resurgence of that reform, that connection, once almost fragmented and broken, starting to reaffirm itself. Michael, when you do your detect magic, you would also notice an animal or some creature of magic. You cannot see its form, but you can sense the magic around it, hovering around Letty. You have noticed similar before, but now that this connection is restored slightly, you can see that it does have a somewhat animal shape to it.
I do not give too much attention to it, as
No,
usual.
that's absolutely fine.
But I am
but you
aware
have noticed
something
it,
is there.
yeah. Letty,
As,
you feel kind of that connection with your friends grow a little stronger.
As I feel like this bit of a stronger connection, whoever notices, if anyone, Letty just like reaches up her hand and just like does this kind of like a scratching notion in the air. And that's it.
Yep. And Parok, as you're sat there watching Zardood, your mind starts flitting back to previous moments that you've spent with him. One hazy afternoon comes back to you. It was hot out in the fields, the sun beating down on you, all of you, as you were training at your home with your family, back in the village. And it was during this time, whilst Zardood was training you, that one of the lessons that he was teaching you that day starts to seep back into your mentality. Maneuvers, pushing yourself within a combat to be able to do additional things, be able to attain the effect and control over combat as you so wish. And as kind of just being in his presence kind of brings these memories back, you feel that you're starting to remember a few of those maneuvers, the training that he forced into your muscle memory through just sheer practice. You feel some of that almost kind of twitch. You feel that you're able to do your commander's strike again. You could potentially attempt to stun a target by striking them in the head. You can try and trip them or disarm them. All of your maneuvers as a battlemaster, all coming rushing back to you.
Rock just kind of listens. The guy goes, "Man, I can't believe I've lost the basics." Oh man, he's kind of stunned in the fact that he just kind of just forgot. And then all of a sudden he just kind of realized, like, man, if I would have had some of these, like if I would have just remembered this, these fights would have been a whole lot easier. If I wouldn't have even got hurt. And he's just having this internal monologue. Like he's not saying this to the group, but he's just thinking it.
Yeah,
'Cause
no,
otherwise it'd be-
100%.
He would have thought it was a little weird.
So, you are all resting. You feel these connections to knowledge and memories that you previously had. A connection reforged once again. Memories
this
that were
little
lost to you
break.
previously coming back to you. And on that note, we're going to take a super quick break. Like, a super quick one. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes, and we have a little bit more to do. So, I'm gonna deafen myself, and then mute myself in Discord. and my mic so that stream can't hear anything. I'll be right back, folks. You have a wonderful quick break. Shall we say 5 minutes?
Sounds
Yep.
good.
Sweet. Well, I will see you all back here in 5 minutes. Same to you, chat. Hey, folks, we're back. Thanks for holding on there. We, as I said, we took a super quick break, and we are getting straight back into it. So, Parok, Michael, Letty, you're all sat around with Zardude, having taken a short rest, half an hour or so, just kind of waiting for a moment. And finally, that moment passes. Being able to rest, you get the benefits of. Now, as you turn to Zardude, each having your own questions, he kind of holds his hands up. Look, I know that you want to know everything that I know about Wrath. I'll tell you, but we're not safe here. They could come back, there could be more of them. We need to get somewhere away from here.
Very well. Where?
I know some people. It's not too far through some of the city, maybe 20 minutes. We'll take a few of the back lanes. Now these are people outside of the detachment. This is people that I knew from a long time ago. Good people. They'll be able to help us.
Letty stands up and kind of like walks towards the door. Lead the way.
Okay. With that, Zardude also gets up, starts walking to the door. He'll get to it. He'll kind of peer out, step out onto the street, and look left and right, trying to decide which way to go.
Wait! I'm not finished. Oh. And then Michael's like, hang on, that's fine. I can't do it anyway. I just remembered I need something. And I pass the axes back to Proc. We'll do that again soon, I promise.
Well, you did have the short rest there, so you would have had time to finish that if you...
Nope. I haven't got a pearl.
Ah, I see.
I need to see my Kayal first. Let's go. You go forward.
So, Zardude leads the way, and you start going down a couple of streets. However, as you turn a couple of corners, you see... Well, you don't see, but you hear a voice that all of you actually recognise quite quickly. And you see a group of thugs, a group similar to the turncoats that you've seen. Maybe 7 or 8 of them, further up the street, one of which, their voice sounds familiar. Thinking back, shouting through the door that you barricaded. One of them's like, "They're the ones! They murdered our boys and went after Roger! Raph said to fucking get 'em!" And they start to run at you. In the meantime, Rain, how you doing?
Oi, oi.
How you doing? You doing alright?
It's all, you know what? It's all good. Don't worry about it. This is not my character voice, though.
So, you have only been in the city a day or so yourself. Up until this point, you've kind of wandered aimlessly through the city, trying to figure out, you know, where to start, what to look for in your search, everything that was happening with you. Now, you did spot a group that seemed a little suspicious as they were walking along. You heard someone use the name Raph. And thinking back to what you had experienced prior to arriving in the city, that sparked a sense of familiarity. You heard that name being called before, and so just on instinct, you followed these thugs, this group, through the city, through a couple of back streets, until you see one of them point out at a few people walking down the road. And they shout, "They're the ones! They murdered our boys and went after Roger! Raph said to kill him!" Again, you hear that name, Raph, coming from one of these guys. I'm actually giving you a surprise round, because you've kind of been following and stalking these guys. So, party, as you turn and you see these thugs running towards you, stepping out of one of the side streets, Rain, would you like to give yourself a character description?
Sure. Rain herself is a halfling woman. She has kind of mid-length, sort of dark brown hair, which is currently tied up in a little kind of like poof of a ponytail at the back of her head, with a pair of kind of like longer forelocks kind of in front of her ears. She has kind of like medium brown skin, with like this green geometric design tattoo down the left side of her face. She's wearing like very kind of like simple and very clearly kind of like clearly made of quite rough material kind of clothing. Kind of noticeably, she's wearing a breastplate made of what looks like scale mail, but instead of made of metal, it's made of bone, like sculpted bone shards. However, Rain herself is not the most notable kind of thing you would notice, as walking up behind her is larger than herself, what looks to be what we would know as a dinosaur skeleton. A medium-sized theropod, like a Deinonychus skeleton. Except it's not just a skeleton. Holding the bones in place are leather cord and like sort of fragments, like pieces of wood that are used to like kind of reinforce parts. It's like a machine made of primarily what would be classified as organic material. It's the inside of its rib cage is kind of contained within sort of like a hard sort of leather like casing, and you can kind of hit like very sort of faintly hear almost like the sound of bellows inside. And within its skull are set a pair of sort of like bright bottle green lenses that kind of take the place of eyes. And kind of as she sees these people go for their weapons, you see her like draw this sword made of a length of like jawbone, but in place of teeth there are sharp shards of obsidian that have been placed, creating an almost like saw blade kind of look. And I think without even saying anything, she kind of looks over to the construct behind her, kind of gestures forward, and she just says, "We're not killing them, we're taking them alive." And then kind of runs up on behind these guys. You said a surprise round, is that correct,
Yes.
Mr. Streamer?
You are absolutely running up on them with surprise. And just for visual reference, Maddie has also done some artwork, which is being displayed on stream on screen currently.
Yeah.
So as you can see the hairstyle, the tattoo, the armor and such that you've discussed, the obsidian teeth. Are you wearing the mask and the cloak currently?
No, she was not prepared for fighting necessarily, and that is her like full war regalia.
That's fair. So she's probably in the middle one, so weapon
Probably,
and
yeah,
armor.
very much
but...
in the middle.
Cool. Well, no, it's looking very good. I do love this character concept. Obviously, we've spoken about this.
And yes,
and I
Hound,
love
it is basically a Machoidal, just a single-edged Machoidal, and kind of sort of made to look like it's a piece of like actual jawbone.
This looks amazing, by the way.
Thank
It
you.
is incredible.
Because
Like-
no, I was just
And
gonna
the
say
bone
because
dinosaur, like I love you already.
yeah, I haven't drawn him yet because, dear God, that's going to be incredibly fucking annoying to draw. Draws and skeletons are hard. Because this is a surprise round, can I get up behind one of these guys and kind of attack with advantage because they do not know I am there?
Yes, you would absolutely get advantage. Let me lay out a little bit of a scene here for everyone. I am going to move your characters, folks. If you scroll down the screen, you will see kind of more of what's happening there. So I'm just setting you up in kind of a marching order, so you guys are walking as you are. We will have... Did I keep any of those tokens? Yes, there is one on the GM layer. I need to drop these guys in, so he needs to go to token layer. Three, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we'll say that they are there. So imagine that effectively you've just walked around a corner here, and they were standing pretty much bang on the corner right in front of you. And we can now throw in our brand new friend Rain. So Rain, you will have come from the south.
Rain's friend.
Yes, and Rain's friend, of course. So yeah, you would have come in from the south there. So that would be the closest one to you. And I'll say...
I will actually say, instead of running up initially, Rain is going to actually hang back, kind of reaching to her side at a belt which is just covered in all sorts of different like pouches and like sort of loops for like different kinds of tools. She takes out what looks like a sort of rounded, like sort of hard leather capsule in one hand. In the other, takes out what looks like a piece of like sparkly glass, kind of like crunches it in one hand and kind of drops it into this capsule, kind of screws a lid on, and then throws it into the middle of all of these people. And I'm going to cast Fairy Fire, using a fun glitter grenade.
Nice! I love it.
And I will just put that into... So, everything in a 20...
So obviously I'm throwing this together very quickly, but
yes.
this is
no
effectively the street that you see.
No
so
worry.
that's the corner that you guys just came round. That's the side street that you've just come up there.
Okay, now I need to find out what could I get in a 20-foot cube.
I can draw the shape for you. I'll go extra large.
It's
Very
essentially
fine,
like
it's going
4x4,
soft
isn't it?
yellow.
I think I can get all... of these boys at the top.
Is it 20-foot cube? So that is
a
the
20
cube, effectively.
A 20-footed cube.
Okay.
Let's try and get as many of these boys as possible. So I think I can get like... if we put those top two boys in like the top corners, I think that should be the
Like that?
best way to do it.
You know what? I'm...
No, I can't. It's not updated. It's
Oh, of course.
it's not
As a...
moved since you drew it.
You
Yeah.
could technically place it like that and hit all of them bar one.
Yeah, let's go with
There's a
that,
couple of
shall
them
we?
on the outskirts, but I'll be nice because you've got advantage. You've got surprise on them as you you throw this out. So yeah.
Mhm.
So that's what 6 of them need to make a. What kind of
Yeah,
check
that is
is
a dexterity saving throw with a DC of 13.
13. Okay, so that is 3.
Take my glitter grenade, you horrible boys.
Shit. I love it. I love it. Okay, so DC 13
Glitter
said dex saving
grenade.
throw.
Yes, DC 13 dex.
Okay, that's 3. Okay, so 3 succeed, 3 fail. We will say, I'm going to be really nice here and let you choose which ones fail.
The ones that fail, I'm gonna say, I'm trying to find out how I can. How do I ping? I don't know. Well, the one at the sort of one at the top left, the one at the bottom left.
That one.
Yep.
That one.
That one. And then I'll say the one sort of in the top middle.
That one.
That one, yes.
Cool. Okay, let's mark them with something here.
Purple.
Purple.
It'll be a marker just because I use the markers typically to symbolize different things.
No worries, my guy.
There you go. So 3 of them have been friendly fired. Does that AoE stay? I can't remember.
It does stay. It stays for the next minute. It is concentration though. So if I lose concentration, it will drop on them. And anyone who attacks those 3 boys has advantage. Because they are
Okay,
outlined. They are outlined in fun glitter.
Nice.
And then as my bonus action, I'm going to command 7 to
Yes,
move up.
Give me a second. I'm gonna give 7 their name. Bing.
Thank you. I'm going to move 7 up to this guy. And I kind of imagine he's got his like back turned to us. And 7 just does like the raptor jump onto his back.
Yes.
Just kind of like just tries to like bring him to the ground.
100%. Let's do it.
I'm going to do one of those. Didn't come up. Hello, do the attack, please. Is it showing up?
Do the thing. Do the roll.
No.
No, it's not showing
I'm
up yet.
pressing it. I'm definitely pressing it.
If it's not working, I can click to roll it for you from the character sheet.
That might be a good idea, possibly. I'm not sure why. It should be working. Everything else was working.
And just the normal attack, is it?
Yes, it's just the force-empowered rend. It's called. Oh, that's nat 20.
Yeah, he did have advantage.
Did have advantage. So I'm sorry, everyone. This should be working, but it's simply choosing not to.
That's okay. Just roll the damage. That is 12. Oh, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Roll
and that
20 is
is-
acting up for me as well.
Yeah, so that's 8 plus 4 plus 2.
Plus 2.
So
Yeah, no, that's... Whew.
sheesh.
Sheesh. Yeah.
I am
7
going.
pounces and just rips him apart.
7 was commanded not to kill. I did say.
Yes. Well,
So-
I'll leave them with that marker, but we will consider it non-lethal. So yeah, 7 just kind of pounces on on the back of this one and kind of just uses its claws to kind of rake and smack this one in the head. And just a brutal smack sends this one kind of falling to the floor, and they don't get back up.
You ding dong. Gonna be. I'm going to actually move. I'm going to move. I'm going to move Rain up to here, and then I'm going to end my turn.
Okay, and with that, I'm going to ask everyone to roll initiative.
Wow.
I am going to treat them... what happened? Never mind. I am going to treat them as one group just to make it easier. Make it quicker. Cool. Oh, damn!
Rain is
Absolutely slapping. So, it's actually going to be Rain and 7 again, and then Letty, and then them, and then Parok, and then Michael. Zardood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get this
Zardood
man in on
goes after Letty. So, Rain and 7, you are
Yes.
now both up once again.
I'm going to move up to this guy. I'm going to use my bonus action to have 7 also gonna have 7 move up here, and then 7 is going to attack the man to the top right of him.
That one.
Um,
Okie
one.
doke.
Let's see if this will actually work this time. I would love it if it did.
Hey, it worked, but unfortunately.
Shouldn't be on advantage. I don't know why it's on.
So let me have a quick look at how that's set up.
Aye.
Yes, I need to switch on advantage toggle, whisper toggle. There you go. So now it will show up as normal, and you can switch advantage and disadvantage on and off as you need to.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank
But
you.
yeah, unfortunately, an 8 is a miss. These guys are squishy,
No,
but not that squishy.
No worries. And kind of as sort of like as 7 kind of runs up and sort of parries this guy, kind of like snaps at him, and he kind of moves to dodge. Rain's going to draw her sword, flip it round to like the blunt end, and just try and like smack his legs out from underneath him.
Nice. Are you doing damage, or are you doing something to knock him prone?
I'll say I'm doing damage.
Yeah.
The prone thing is mostly just because I'm short
Thematic.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you've got to bring him down to your level.
Nice.
Let's go.
I mean, at 18 will be a hit.
Alright, and I need to get it to. Aha! I did it. It rolled 5 damage. Wow.
Nice. You rolled literally minimum damage.
Yay.
And that's to the one in front of you there. You would have had advantage on that one, would you not?
Would I?
Very far.
Yeah, the one
He's
right in
not-
front of
He's
you.
not still surprised, is he?
No,
Fairy
fairy
fire.
fire.
Oh my god, you're so.
Your own spell.
Hey. Hey, I'm stupid. Don't
You
worry
know
about
what?
It.
That
Yeah,
that just
literally
doubles
we-
down. It's a solid 18 for that roll. Yeah, no, he as you kind of clobber him with the blunt side of your weapon, he kind of reels back, taking the damage, stumbles a little, but is still on his feet.
Okay. And I think very much Rain hasn't made like any sound doing this. You just see a fucking step out onto the street, this goddamn bone raptor runs up, knocks a guy out, and she just whamps another guy in the knees. And that's the end of my turn.
Wonderful. Letty, you see this in front of you. These guys were just about to try and ambush you, charge you. And this savior, question mark, appears from round the corner and just starts laying into these people. What are you going to do?
So, seeing the guys pull up on us, she would have gone for her bow straight away anyway. But when this new person with their mildly scary-looking pet shows up, she wasn't quite sure who to go for first. Seeing that they are helping, she doesn't aim at them.
Wonderful.
Letty would like to get a tiny bit closer because this is going to be 30 feet, yes? With the first guy on the same level.
So that's
25.
25 there, so you could do it from one square back. What is it you're trying to do?
Yeah. It's going to be a planar warrior. So she's going to Letty's going to pull back her bow and going to use the bonus action on the planar warrior and just take a hit. So as I envision it is literally just like dipping into everything that she doesn't know, weirdly enough, but feeling that there's something there. As she pulls back her bow and releases it, there's like that extra bit of energy going into the arrow itself. And that's going to be 27. Does that hit?
Yeah, no, a 27 is a hit.
So that's 1d8 extra damage.
Yes. And all of the damage becomes force damage, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah, that is a 10.
Wonderful, 10 points of
6 and a 4.
damage. And that was the one directly in front of you there.
Yes.
Okay. Lethal or non-lethal damage? Were you attempting to try and murder them, or were you attempting to try and knock them out, kind of thing?
He wouldn't care about these individuals, so she would go for the
Go for the
death
kill.
kill.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
So, like, aim
I'm
for the eye.
Yeah, I am going to mark that one differently then, so that we can tell that he is knocked out, that one to the south, rather than the rest of them. But yes, you kind of pull back, your arrow starts to kind of spark and shift with this different planar energy kind of coalescing on it, and as you fire you feel kind of this surge of power burst along with the arrow, and as it strikes him you see him kind of be thrown backwards by a much stronger force than your arrow would be capable of. He takes the extra damage from the planar warrior and dies.
Nice.
Wonderful. Is there anything else that you were looking to do?
No, that's me. Letty's just as a flavor, if you could imagine her being mildly impressed, that's what she would be by this new person's and her pet's appearance and how they have managed to kind of like impose themselves.
Nice, nice. I
That's it.
respect it. It's fair. It's fair. So at the end of your turn, it is then Zardu's turn, who is going to go 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 puts him there, which is literally the closest he can do on a sprint without dashing. As he is running, he is drawing his two short swords, and he is going to make a couple of strikes against this guy. He does have advantage on the strike because of Fairy Fire and because he is flanking. So, first strike. That's a nat 20.
You're welcome, everybody.
And Zardude is just a monster.
I mean, you guys are really gonna be. So that'd be.
I have blessed this stream.
Okay, yeah, no. One hit and that guy drops. Actually, as Zardu runs up, does he notice that you knocked out that one? He does. So he actually goes for non-lethal damage and knocks that one out as well.
Just Letty murdering everyone.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
alright. I mean, if he hadn't rolled a 19 to see if he noticed whether Rain had knocked out that one rather than killed them. If he had rolled lower, who knows? Like, he probably would have went for the kill, but he's noticed that she's knocked them out for some reason.
Yeah.
He can't actually do anything with the rest of his turn.
Listen, Letty knows what she's about. I can't fault her for that. Like,
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%.
she knows her deal.
It is their turn. Seeing this going wrong, the one at the back, yeah, nope. He has second thoughts and turns to run. He will then use his action to dash and just take off down the road. The others don't notice. This one steps to there. That one moves in to... Actually, they're gonna move to there. They're gonna flank as that one moves into there. So, there will be 2 attacks on Zardude. No. Actually, they are going to move like that. So the knocked out one, I'm just going to move to one side for now. There is one stood on or over their body. So the one behind Zardood is going to attack Zardood with advantage because of flanking. That will be a hit, and that will be... that is nothing but for our boy Zardood. He is absolutely fine. That was only 3 points of damage. It's fine.
Hey.
So the one in front of you, Rain, is going to go for you because they have seen you run up, club one of their mates in the head, and kind of interrupt this whole planned ordeal.
7 is going to use deflect attack to give them disadvantage.
Nice. I love it.
So I like to imagine that kind of 7 like pivots on the spot and just sort of like whomps him in the back with its tail.
And yeah. So with his short sword out,
Yeah.
kind of going to strike, 7 kind of whips their tail around, smacks the guy in the back, and he overbalances as... Yeah, he completely misses. That saved you. That was a 16 and a 3. So yeah, the blade goes kind of... The strike almost doesn't happen. Because the strike in the back from 7 kind of completely throws him off balance. He almost falls over in front of you. But while 7 is distracted, the one behind 7 is going to try and hit 7 because...
Hit him if you can.
Well, he does have advantage.
His AC is 15.
15.
Yes. Yes, 15.
Okay. And no, this one, seeing 7 kind of swept around, attention turns to the one in front of you, Rain. They kind of bring their short sword up and go to strike down, and it kind of glances off some of the bone, scratches some of the leather, but doesn't actually carve through into 7 or deal any damage. That is their turn. So, Parok, you're up next, buddy.
All right, it's my turn. Okay. A quick question out of character because I was a little late coming back. Did we figure out what happened to the axes?
Michael wasn't able to complete the ritual. He needs to go purchase a pearl from Mikael before he can complete the ritual. So he'll have to redo that.
All right, so we got 30.
You know they're magical. You don't know what they do. But you can use them.
Wondered. Okay, so I did pick them back up when we ran outside.
Yeah, they were given back to you.
Okay. All right. So we got 30 feet of movement. 2, 4, 5, 6. So I think I'm gonna move Parok here because he's seen that Zardood now has been flanked. He wants to get in and try to support what he can. And with that, as he was running, he's pulling out his club. He's got his shield in hand, and he's ready to take a swing on the individual between between Rain and Zardood. This guy.
Okay, I will let you know that you don't get the flanking bonus currently. But if you attack the guy to the north of Zardood, he has Fairy Fire on him, so you would have advantage on the attack. So if you attack that one, you'd have advantage. That one you wouldn't. Zardood and Rain have advantage on that one currently. With your movement, you could have moved like diagonally down. So if you were stood there, I'd argue that 7 would give you flanking advantage. If you did still want to go for that one.
I'm gonna leave it as is.
Cool. You're gonna go for... Still gonna go for the one in the middle, or are you gonna go for the one with Fairy Fire?
Well, one in the middle.
Okay, sweet. Make your attack for me, buddy.
We're gonna run with the club.
Ooh. Yep. Are you doing lethal or non-lethal damage?
So Parak just kind of lost in the moment. Doesn't realize that the other individuals are currently knocked out. So he's just gonna go at hardcore, smash them in the head. I do have a question. Am I able to utilize Commander Strike on Letty to have her attack the guy on with the fairy fire?
Commander Strike, Commander Strike. I literally have been reading this like multiple times today because I helped you do your level up. Commander Strike. When you take the attack action on your turn, you can forego one of the attacks. So because you are only level 3, you only have one attack, and you have just made it. When you get to level 5,
Okay.
I don't know if you mentioned or remember I mentioned earlier, you get extra attacks. So every time you take the attack action, you get 2 attacks rather than 1. So Commander Strike is great because later on you can still make an attack and then command someone to do it.
Okay, so what if I action surged, then Commander Strike?
Action Surge and then did it 100% because you would have the attack to do so.
Okay, so I want to make sure because I don't want to waste my movements here. So I've committed the first action. Would that leave me with a bonus action?
That leaves you with a bonus action. Currently, you have used your movement as well.
Okay, so the bonus action. I'm trying to remember what can I necessarily do with that? Okay, just basically ready up or whatever, or would it just?
Yeah, so you will have a couple of abilities that are specifically bonus action abilities. Second Wind, for example. I think all of your actual maneuvers are all when you hit something rather than a bonus action. Commander Strike does use a bonus action as well, it does say.
Okay, so I tell you what.
So if you wanted to use that, you could, but it'd use your action surge and then the action and bonus action to be able to have Letty shoot.
Okay, I think just for the RP portion of it, I think I want to go on and do the action surge to reset the action and the bonus action.
Yep.
All right. And then with that, we're going to use Commander Strike for Letty to attack the person with the fire.
Okay, so Letty, as you're watching the battle unfold in front of you, you see Parok kind of smack down, knocking the one that he targeted to the ground. As he kind of glances around, you see his battle awareness almost kick in, and he turns, locks eyes with you, nods, and then gestures to the one in front of him. As you see him do so, he kicks the foot of that one, leaving an opening. It does use your reaction, but you can take an attack on that one, and you'll receive additional damage along the lines of Parok's superiority die, if you hit.
Okay, so is it just a d20?
Yeah, so it's just it's an attack at advantage because the one right here has Fairy Fire. And if you hit, you get an extra d8 damage.
So first roll was 13. So 21, yeah.
21 to hit, absolutely. What I will do is you roll your normal damage. Parok, I'll ask you to roll your superiority die damage. Because obviously that's your ability.
Okay.
Dice going everywhere.
You get an additional 6 to your damage, whatever you get.
Cool. 7.
Wonderful. So, looking back at the combat here, Parok, you have just struck and killed one of the thugs that was looking to ambush you. You turn, you see Letty ready, arrow strung, ready to be shot. You kick the foot of the one to the northeast of you, knocking him off balance and leaving an opening. With a resounding thwick, you hear the arrow be propelled from the bow, and you see it embed itself into the one above you. as you've kind of used this moment in the battle to kind of turn the tide and have Letty take her shot, you see this one also go down, dead. I
That's
just realised I probably should have been playing some combat music instead of that music. It's all good though.
All right, and then so technically that still leaves me with a bonus action, right? Because the action surge reset, or did the commander strike utilize the reset on the bonus?
So action surge resets your action. Maddie, does action surge give you a bonus action back as well?
Should do. I will very quickly double check for you, but I do certainly believe so.
Take one additional action on top of your regular action, and a possible bonus action.
Yes.
Yes, this is the highly debated wording in the book isn't clear enough to say whether it is or isn't, so most people say
Not-
that it
not
also
normally.
does reset.
In the recent editions of the games of Baldur's Gate, you only get an action surge, which is only extra action. It's up to DM.
Yeah, I'll allow it, just so that you get the additional bonus action whenever you action surge. So yes, you do have a bonus action available, because you technically would have had 2 bonus actions because of your action surge.
Okay, and so am I able to move again on a bonus action?
Unfortunately, you don't have anything that can let you dash as a bonus action. I
Okay.
think one of the things that you can do later on is there is a bonus action like disengage maneuver that you can do. Where
So I
basically,
guess the real question is there anything beneficial that I can do at this point since my movement is gone?
I don't think there's
Or
anything that you can do.
actually
with
can I
your
ready
bonus
an action?
Unfortunately, readying an action takes an action.
Okay,
Right now,
so-
I think you've exhausted everything that you do have. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, bonus action-wise, that you would have, like, usable, as it were.
Not at this level. If you had both the hand axes in your hand, you can use a bonus action to throw one of them, but yeah,
Okay.
those in the payment.
All right. Well, so then we'll just say this last 60 seconds of conversation. Was it? We'll just say what it is. But yeah, we'll just call it there for right now.
Yeah, no, that's all good, bud. That's still... You strike someone down, look over, kind of give Letty a signal, another one drops. This combat has changed very, very quickly. So, at the end of your turn,
I mean, a
Michael...
dinosaur skeleton rocked up in the middle of Waterdeep before the combat change.
I know, I love it. Michael, it is your turn.
Upon seeing this sort of explosion of very interesting glowing dust, and then this sort of unique viewing of this dinosaur just begin to eviscerate people, and people just going down and asking people to do like to take these guys down non-lethally. Michael's standing in a bit of awe, which would explain why he's sort of so slow to be on the offbeat. And then notices the one running away, noticing how fast he is, even whilst trying to run away. And then something awakens inside upon him, almost that sort of urge, that fey urge to start chasing and give pursuit. So he does 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, looks upon it, and goes, well, let's go! Begins to dash.
Wonderful.
5, 10, 15, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Going past the dead corpses and gives way. Doing so, people can hear him start chanting in Celestial as he begins to double hand the staff with the sort of rattling sort of thing at the end. So it begins to look like a sort of celestial colours of gold and silver starts twisting around it. There's shillelagh on it.
Lovely.
Yes,
Which is
yeah.
bonus
Shouts
action,
in
so yeah.
So he shouts out Celestial, if you can understand it, he shouts out the word harden and begins giving pursuit to the one at the end. The reasoning for it is these guys answer to Ralph. There's a survivor, at least one that isn't going to be left in the city under our fear. That is one loose end that we cannot have at the moment.
That's very fair reasoning. So you are in.
It's my turn.
Yes, you are in hot pursuit.
I feel like I might be able to run faster than them, so
Yeah, maybe, yeah. So back to the top of initiative. Rain 7. You have one guy left, who is
Yeah.
looking a little panicked, but you know, he's still there, ready to fight, compared to the guy that's running away.
Rain is going to move up and attempt to attack him. Again, kind of reversing her grip on her sword and using the blunt edge. I'm good at words, don't worry about it, everybody. Give me 1 second, I just have to refresh my character sheet. And then, hiya, let's see if this worked. Normal roll.
Hey, 17
Dun,
is
dun.
a hit.
Da 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 da. That is 10 damage.
Yep. No, once again, you turn to the blunt side of your weapon, striking them, and they just go down like a sack of potatoes.
I think she just like fucking just whomps him in the stomach and he just doubles over and she's like, ugh.
Yep. And just he just falls onto his knees and he's just cradling his stomach, kind of lying on the floor. So
Yes. And then
yeah.
bonus action. 7 has a movement speed of 40 feet.
He does.
So bonus action. I'm going to have him dash.
Yes, because it's you give him the command with the bonus action, then he uses
Yes,
his.
with my
his
bonus
rounds,
action,
his
I tell
turn.
him what to do, and he.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure he can still take reactions normally. Pretty certain.
Wonderful. So yeah, he's just dashed to get up over to that one. Was there anything else that you wanted to on your turn there, Rain?
No, I'm good, thanks.
Okay, Letty.
Yes, it can move and use
Question.
its reaction on its own.
Yes.
If I say that I want to hit the guy in his leg to try and slow him down, would that work, or would he still get his full movement on his turn?
So that is a called shot, which falls more into the specialty of someone like Parok, who has maneuvers as part of the fighter class. I will allow it for the sake of what's happening. I will make it harder to hit their leg if you target their leg rather than them. But if you do hit, I will allow you to do the damage and also reduce their speed a bit.
Okay.
So you can do it. It's not something that typically happens, and if you want to do it in the future, we can look at like a custom feat to do it. But for the rule of cool, I'll allow it to happen. You can definitely try.
So, my movement is 35. So it's 1 square is 5, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
1,
So
2,
that's-
3,
oh,
4, 5, 6,
Oh, no.
7. So that gets me there.
Yep, that'll get you there.
Am I within 60 feet now, or no?
Not within 60, no. They are 75 feet
Okay.
away.
So it's going to be at a disadvantage in that case.
Yes, if you're using your bow.
it's a cold
going
shot
to
on a double
turn.
disadvantage. It doesn't hit up.
I was going to give it a bonus to its AC rather than disadvantage. So
Fair enough.
you can still attempt to slow them down, but you will have disadvantage because it's outside of your range, and it's going to be a harder shot to hit their legs than to hit them. So I'll give you the choice whether to just target them for the damage, or go for their legs and potentially slow them down a little as well.
I'm going to go for the full damage, do the same planar warrior as my bonus action.
Nice. So yeah, you can absolutely line up that shot. It is still disadvantaged because it's outside the bow range, unfortunately, but you can
Oh,
go ahead
okay.
and make your attack.
So that's a 12?
A 12 is just a hit.
It hit! Ah,
Yeah,
yes!
these guys, they don't have
Amazing!
much armor. They don't
I
have
was
much
like,
health
oh no,
either.
I rolled
Most of them have
6.
gone down in one hit.
Also, I'm sorry for drawing shapes on the map. I got confused and panicked and made it won't
It
let
is.
me erase them.
It's absolutely okay. I got you. Don't worry.
That's an 8 and a 6, so 14 total.
That is very nice. Yeah. That is enough. Best way to put it. That is enough. So as Michael, as you turn to chase this one, as Seven gives chase, Letty lines up her shot, kind of staring down the edge of the arrow. Difficult shot to make, shooting past Michael, past Seven, at a distance that you're not used to shooting with this particular bow. But you hope in your aim and release, and the arrow flies true, catching them in the small of the back. They do get struck and fall facing forward, face down.
We'll let you go once. Didn't go too well. And she puts her bow away.
As you go to put your bow away, you realise that actually is the one that got away last time. That was the one that was shouting in this current encounter that you've come across them. He was the one that got away as you tried to go through the tavern.
Well, fool me once.
And with that, combat is over. You do have 3 of them unconscious at your feet, Rain. Rain, you see the party for what they are. Party, you see Rain for what she is.
A funny halfling with a dinosaur skeleton.
Exactly. And I'm going to leave it
I think-
down to you guys as to what happens next.
Michael
I think for a second,
ran
kind of-
towards where this was, realized Letty just killed him. I just sort of slows down, goes, "Oh, well, what a waste of energy that was." Slams the staff on the ground to dispel the magic on it and goes, "Oh, any particular reason why you wanted them alive?" As I turn to this newcomer.
kind of sort of like, I think for a second, Rain is kind of like, has the sword out, is kind of almost like looking into the middle distance, like breathing heavily, and then almost like comes back to herself, kind of like with this bit of a start, and kind of looks up at Michael, and says, I'm so sorry, I saw them drawing weapons on you, and they were talking of hurting you. I'm sorry if I overreacted. Kind of Rain takes like a very deep bow, and you see Seven like kind of almost seems to imitate her, almost like watches her to see what she does, and then almost does the same.
Please, no, that wasn't accusatory or anything. I just wondered if you had a reason for it is all. Please, lift your head.
Oh, they said a name that I'm familiar with. I was hoping they would have some answers for me. And it looks around.
Letty steps a bit closer and goes like, "Don't tell me." Rough.
Yes. Is this person known to you? Are they well known here?
Apparently so,
Apparently.
and you've just walked very luckily into the group of people who are about to get answers from a certain person about this one. And Stott looks to Zaldud.
At this point, Zardu kind of steps forward and nods. Aye, before we have any kind of discussion like that, let's get ourselves off the streets, away from this lot. You can bring them if you want, he says to Rain, but I doubt they're going to have many answers.
we cannot leave them on the street. Surely,
Why
there
not?
should be some. Well, surely there should be somebody we should tell. And she kind of looks over at the people who are dead, and she's like,
Unfortunately, a group of people like ourselves in a city such as this, along the local dead, it's going to be very hard for us to explain. They made a choice, and their fate was to die here. Although the ones you have kept alive, I suggest giving them a warning to leave the city would be a grand gesture of mercy.
Or we could just restrain them and leave them for the guards.
That too. But then
I would.
they may try and twist the story, though, on us killing them. Remember, these guys are part of an elite unit that isn't known to be under Ralph's control yet, I suspect.
This particular group weren't actually part of the detachment. You would have noticed they had different clothing, but some of them did have the stylized letter R, the insignia that you've seen. So it seems these are more thug-esque figures rather than the turncoats.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see the yards. Just restrain them for the guards. They know who. They will probably best know to deal with it.
Rain's gonna kind of look between everybody and say, if you think that is best, of course, kind of reaches behind her and takes out she probably has a lot of sort of like leather twine, mostly for replacing Seven's ligaments, should they ever become damaged.
True.
And just kind of warily kind of goes over and starts kind of tying them up, kind of looks up during her business and says, this is to do with this person, yes?
Yep.
The symbol. I'm sorry, I'm sure you can tell I'm not from here.
Most of us are
not. Yes, I'm sorry. I wasn't entirely sure what to expect when I arrived here, and this wasn't it. Kind of finishes sort of tying the three of them up. You can tell she kind of looks a bit guiltily at them.
Michael will walk up to her and clippily clops. It sort of gives her a bit of a sort of encouraging sort of like old man sort of like slap on the arm and goes, "Fate has brought you to the right people, trust me. Zardude, I think you best lead us on whilst we restrain these."
And yes, once you have restrained the three that were knocked out, you continue on, Zardude leading the way through a few more streets until you reach just a very unassuming house in a row of houses. And as he approaches and knocks on this painted red door, you see a shutter open and a pair of eyes staring out, and the shutter closes and the door immediately opens. An older lady, elven, potentially in her equivalent of 50s or so, hair starting to grey slightly, opens the door and warmly opens her arms to give Zardude a hug. Z, it's been so long. How are you? You're in a bit of a... You're all in a bit of a state. And they just look a little perplexed by all of you arriving at their front door. After a moment, though, they do step to one side and wave all of you in. Please, come in. It has been so long since Z has visited us. And with, friends?
Rain is going to look up at her and say, this is not an undead, it's a construct. Just kind of very much out of nowhere, like suddenly aware that this could possibly be misconstrued as a problem. Then kind of looks at everyone and says, Yeah, this is not an undead.
Let's looks
d-
at Rain and says, "Indeed. Friends may be a bit of a strong word, but co-workers."
Zardu just kind of turns to her. Saf, I trust them. It's alright. I trust them. And he leads you into a back room. At which point, I have noticed the time. It is 11:15. Do we want to wrap it up there? Because we did say we wanted to finish as close to 11 as possible.
If that's okay.
Yep, that's
I'd really like
absolute-
to keep on going, but
Well, I feel like next session
do
is
have a
definitely
bit of
going to
a-
be a lot of talking and you asking
Yeah.
questions, finding out more
Oh
about your new
dear.
party member, the new party
Yo, I
member
love
finding out
talking.
more about you, finding out more about Raph and how the city seems to know him, and figuring out a course of action, I suppose.
Let's go.
And yes, on that note, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream. We are going to go send a raid out, go show some love to somebody. So, folks, make sure to stick around for that. I'm going to deafen myself to go say goodbye to stream. Is there anything else that any of you fantastic adventurers want to say to stream before I disappear?
Thank you
Thank
all for
you.
having me.
Of course, of course.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you for
Yes.
enjoying my funny dinosaur skeleton.
Yes, it has
It's
been.
amazing.
It has been incredible having Seven and Rain join the party. I'm very much looking forward to discovering more of Rain's story on the stream and finding out what
They claim
what
to
her
me a
motivations
fevered
are.
Gideon. Yes, this is my my fevered creations.
Always remember, stream. Fate can never predict dinosaur monstrosities.
Never
That's a low-
predict. You know,
True.
that's the one glitch in the Matrix. You can never anticipate dinosaurs.
Yeah. I mean, you never can. Who else came to this D&D session knowing that there was going to be a dinosaur? Not me.
Bro, I
Yeah,
barely
you
knew.
did. You were the only one who did know.
Shh, shh, it's fine, it's fine. Right, I'm gonna deafen myself, go say goodbye to stream, and I'll be right back to chat to you guys in a little bit.
Oi, Captain.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Wonderful. Well, folks, we are, like I said, gonna send a raid out. I just wanted to, before we did wrap up the stream, I did just want to take a moment to say thank you to everyone that has come to hang out and come watch and enjoy the content tonight. It's been real good fun. We have had a blast. We have introduced a new character into the mix, who's going to make things a little bit interesting, I think. Finally, are the party going to get answers? Are they going to find out who this this Raphael, who this person is that plagues them at every turn? Where does Inara go? Where is Rain from? And why, oh why, is there a dinosaur construct? I mean, these are all fantastic questions. And I suppose ones that you'll find out next time, folks. On that note, we're going to send a raid out. Make sure to stick around for that. And I will catch all of you fantastic people tomorrow or next stream. Take it easy, folks. Bye-bye.